Yeah, you know, I'm a real boxing fan, and I'm not surprised at all. When you're a boxing fan and you've been watching boxing for so long, and you're not a new age boxing fan who started watching boxing when Floyd Mayweather was ducking Manny Pacquiao, then you know that anything could happen in boxing. When this fight was announced, and I remember being in every single hangout in the chats and a couple of times live on, and I've said this so many times that the focus on Anthony Joshua and Wilder is so huge that Anthony Joshua himself isn't even thinking about Ruiz. I mean, you got YouTube channels, you got the reporters, and you got the boxing media all talking about negotiations with Wilder and Anthony Joshua, that they just forgot about his opponent. And I said on numerous amount of hangouts, let Anthony Joshua get past Ruiz first. He's no pushover. He just came off a good win. He's still hot. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua is coming from a pretty nice amount of time, a little bit of a layoff with Povetkin. I said, let the man focus on the fighter that he has in front of him. I said, Ruiz has fast hands and just enough footwork. He doesn't have fast feet, but he has just enough footwork to give Anthony Joshua problems. On top of that, he's shorter. Anthony Joshua has a hard time fighting shorter guys. Takam is an example. Povetkin is an example. And when you have a media and you have YouTube channels and your promoter and the people who are around you and all these other media outlets out there feeding you with, what are you going to do with Wilder? What is going on with Wilder? Are we going to get a Wilder fight? It makes you forget about the opponent you have in front of you. Mayweather is a perfect example. Anytime he had a fight coming up, and they would always ask him, are you going to fight Manny Pacquiao? Are you going to fight Manny Pacquiao? Manny Pacquiao is not my concern right now. I have to worry about the guy that I have in front of me. And that's how you have to be. That's how you have to be. I can't come up with excuses for Anthony Joshua. All I could do is tell you guys what I think happened and what I feel happened. But before I do that, I would like to say to all you people out there who keep talking about Andy Ruiz's body and talking about his physique, and I know it's fun. You're making fun about Anthony Joshua having muscles, losing to a guy that's overweight. A lot of you guys have never been in a situation, I believe, in your whole life. Many of you guys have never got jumped before, never had to fight, never had to protect your sister. A lot of you guys have never been in a situation. So I could tell by the comments. You're talking about losing to a fat guy. Let me just say this. A guy that's 260 pounds, full of muscle, is the exact same weight as a guy that's 260 pounds, full of fat. You understand? It doesn't matter whether he's big with muscles or big with fat. Okay? It's the same. Number two, Andy Ruiz is a professional boxer. He's not some fat mechanic that's eating cheeseburgers all day and going to lay on the couch. No, he's a trained professional fighter. He knows what he's doing. And he beat Anthony Joshua with basic fundamentals. With basic fundamentals. Now, Anthony Joshua, for one, has bad conditioning. Bad conditioning. I don't know what's going on with his training, But a lot of these fighters got to go back to the drawing board, jogging on the streets or on the track, jump roping, rounds of jump roping, jogging, rounds of jump roping, rounds of hitting the heavy bag, not the mitts, rounds of hitting the heavy bag. Stretching, do a lot of stretching, and just enough sparring. Anthony Joshua is so bulky. When you have a bulky body like that and you're not doing some type of stretching, yoga, Pilates, anything that's going to keep you limber, gymnastics, whatever it is, you're going to be tight. Anthony Joshua looks so stiff and so tight in there. Number 2, his boxing stance. He's a wide open, straight up boxing stance that is inviting you to counter him anytime he throws shots. Number 3, he got to work on his jab. Anthony Joshua, from what I always thought, had fast hands, but he was really slow. He didn't utilize his jab. He should have watched the Lennox Lewis and David Tua fight. He could have learned a lot from that. Use your jab. Use your range. Use your height to your advantage. Number 3, when you drop Ruiz, you got a little too excited. You so worried about getting the knockout because of Wilder's praise for his knockouts. And you went in there careless and you got caught in the temple by a left hook. Left hook, because you're throwing your left and your right hand is down. Wide open. Temple shot. You never recovered from the temple shot. And you underestimated your opponent. You wasn't interested in this opponent. You seem uninterested. And you need to get back to the drawing board, because Andy Ruiz is no pushover. Shout out and much respect to Andy Ruiz. Congratulations. This is what we want to see in boxing. There was no negotiation problems. There was no, I got to do this and that because I'm a big star. No, Andy Ruiz took that fight. He had the heart to take that fight. Now he gets to make negotiations. Now he's a star. He beat the man. You understand? He beat the man. Shout out to Andy Ruiz. It was a great fight. And real boxing fans, this is what we want. We want to see Dillian White versus Ruiz. We want to see Dillian White versus Fury. We want to see AJ versus Fury. We still want to see AJ versus Wilder. And then we want to see AJ versus Ortiz. And then Ruiz versus Ortiz. Ortiz versus White. We need to bring back this golden era. Shout out to Unrivaled for making a great hangout. It's not about AJ. This is about Andy Ruiz now. This is about Andy Ruiz becoming the new heavyweight champion, the first Mexican-American champion. You got to give him his props. You got to give him his props. And yes, I want to see a rematch with AJ and Ruiz. And if AJ can't beat him, then he just can't beat him. It doesn't matter. Just because you lose, you could always bounce back. You can always bounce back. That is the beauty of boxing. And we should hopefully this brings a new golden era where all the heavyweights are fighting each other. All the heavyweights are doing what they got to do. So now, Andy Ruiz, great win. But can he beat Deontay Wilder? In my opinion, we don't know until he step in the ring with him. MOBC.